And the first person that I would like to go to is a very, very dear friend of Bang, and someone who's been very much involved right from the very beginning, and that is Inga Surgunte, who is who comes from Latvia, and will be talking about her particular current project. I mean, this woman gets everywhere. You see her all over the place. But one of the projects that she's currently working on about arts on prescription, and it's located in the Baltic Sea region. Inga, welcome, welcome. It's so lovely to see you as always. And do, whenever you're ready, share your wisdom with us.
Oh, all right. Thank you. Thanks a lot, Diana. I will be sharing my screen, and I'm happy to talk about project that takes place in several countries. It's a large partnership within an Interreg project in the Baltic Sea region. And I'm managing one part of it in Cēsis municipality, Latvia. And yes, I will be sharing how museums are reaching out to non-visitors and what challenges we are facing. Actually, I'm very moved by the first speakers. A lot has been said. I will be repeating some of the things, maybe giving a bit of more practical examples from my project. But I think we're sharing very similar challenges, and I hope we could maybe also share solutions at some point too. So this is the project called Arts on Prescription in the Baltic Sea region that started this year and will be finalized by the end of 2025. For those who are maybe not yet familiar with the arts on prescription, it's a type of social prescribing developed in the UK in the 90s, and now seems that whole world is trying to learn from it. Arts on prescription is a specific type of social prescribing that enables health professionals and other referral channels to refer people, so they can be the clients or patients, to a range of creative and participatory activities with the goal of promoting mental health and social inclusion of these people. So in the project, 13 partners from 7 countries are trying or are willing to adapt this model to the Baltic Sea region. There are universities, municipalities, museums, and other institutions, cultural institutions collaborating together. And we're basically adopting the British model to the region by developing our own methodology and then adopting it even more to the piloting countries. We have 5 piloting countries in the project. Then obviously we will be piloting the method, and then in 2025 concluding, summarizing the conclusions and sharing them through a transnational conference and several national conferences. So in Cēsis municipality, we decided to continue our work with museums because in 2022, there was already the very, very first attempt of developing a museums on prescription program. And this time we are better equipped and we feel stronger with the support of the partners. So now we are in the first piloting cycle. We have 4 museums, 8 weeks, 16 activities. And here is one of the 4 museums and heritage sites in the program. It's an archaeological park in Āraisi, which is a testimony of lifestyles in 10th century in the territory of Latvia. So here again, another museum in the picture, which is a literary museum. It's a former summer house of our writer, Kārlis Skalbe. And in this program, in the 4 museums, people will be doing drafts, visual arts, poetry, music, theater. So those 16 meetings will be very diverse in terms of art genres that participants will be able to try out. What about the participants? So they are older than 16. All of them are struggling with mild to moderate mental health issues. For example, older adults can be dealing with loneliness, depression, anxiety related to aging, or loss of work, or loss of relationships. Those can be also young adults dealing with school or career-related challenges. And also maybe an audience that we don't think first, but also adults, just regular economically active adults, but who are struggling with balancing work and family life, or maybe experiencing some traumatic experiences. And here again, introducing the third of the museums, Cēsis History and Art Museum, which is in the center of the municipality, and which also has ruins of a former middle age fortress. What do we want to achieve with the program? We would like to support our participants at increasing their self-esteem, self-confidence. We would like to help them reducing anxiety, depression, stress, strengthening their motivation, meaning in life, and decreasing the loneliness that they're facing. And this is the fourth museum in the program, again, a literary museum, a former house, a farmstead of our poet Edward Swedenbaums and his family. So the great goal of the project is to establish permanent arts and prescription programs on local and national levels. We hope we will succeed at least on the local level. And our very ambitious and very enthusiastic goal in the beginning of the project was to turn the museums of the municipality into oases for local communities. That was a little bit of naive and dream kind of goal, but that was how we chose to name it. Now, when we are almost finished with the first piloting cycle, we see the major challenges that we're facing. First of all, I have to say that we decided in Cēsis municipality to work with the groups of people that you could call marginalized or underrepresented or underserved, all those difficult words. You always try not to stigmatize those people, but this is how we normally talk about these groups. So those are poor people who are socially and geographically isolated. They're often suffering from different kinds of addictions, often also having disabilities. So the very first challenge that we encountered was, how do we actually reach these audiences? How do we find them? How do we know about them? We see that cooperation with doctors and social workers help a lot, but we become more and more aware that there are a lot of these people who are actually, so to speak, under the radars. They're not included in any lists. They're not known. We don't know how to reach out to them. And this is a huge question, actually, how to find them. And then when we reach out to them, how do we communicate in a way that they feel really invited and really welcomed in our institutions? This is the question that was raised previously already. Then finally, when we meet them, we finally discover what were the barriers that were keeping them away from our institutions. Those can be physical, social, emotional, cognitive, any kind of barriers. And in this learning process, we have to admit that we were aware of some of those. We were aware that we should ask if our audiences will be able to climb the stairs, see and cross the thresholds, see letters of certain size, etc. All those questions that come to our mind first. But we must admit that we were not aware that we should also think whether those audiences will be able to participate in the activities. Even will they be able to hold a pencil or a brush? Will they be able to read and then understand the text they are reading? Will they be willing to communicate, answer our questions? Those are the barriers that we were not ready enough before to face, and we see that we need more and more training. And related to this, the next question is, what is the role of the facilitator in this kind of activities? Our museum workers are used to be great entertainers, educators, communicators, performers. But now we discovered that maybe the true skill, the most important skill that they need is being interested in these people, in their life stories, being truly interested in these human beings, being there and really like giving up and skipping the results we usually like to achieve in our activities. Being so humble that sometimes you accept just being their hands or being their eyes, and doing it in a way that you don't highlight their own incapacities. And this is a totally new set of skills that we again realize we need to learn and master. And then how do we know the audiences? How do we get close to them? How do we learn about their needs? And this is only through this human connection that I mentioned before. And again, we have to admit that not everyone between us is fit to this role. And some of us have managed this super difficult task, which seems to be very simple, human connection. But when you do it, sometimes you fail, and you have to recognize that you are not trained and maybe not the type of person fit for this kind of activity. Here we see a photo from a theater workshop, and it worked totally well. Everyone left the museum with tears in their eyes. This miracle happened, but not in all of the museums. And then the last and the most painful challenge, finances. Now we're running on the project budget, support from the Interreg, but who will pay for this after the project? There have been attempts to calculate the economic benefits of the arts and prescription programs, but still it won't pay off fully, or you won't earn with it, because already transport, bringing in these people who can't cover their transport costs to the museums is very expensive. Next to that, special transport for people in wheelchairs becomes even more complicated. Working hours spent on adapting already existing programs, creating new programs, cost of materials, coffee breaks, entry tickets, etc., etc. We're very worried if the municipality will be willing to take those expenses in their budget after the project. But don't want to leave you with the saddest conclusions and saddest challenges. This is a hug after the already mentioned theater performance. We're still on the way. We hope to learn our lessons and find the best solutions, and we'll be always happy to share. Please reach out to us if you would like to know more about the project. Thank you.